Hey everybody, welcome back. So to continue hand drill, remember the juniper bark that we collected a little while ago? It's been sitting out in the sun for a couple days. Now I'm going to talk about tinder bundles, because you need to make a tinder bundle, which is kind of like a bird's nest, because when you're creating fire with fire by friction, all that little hot dust, it doesn't suddenly burst into a flame. It's hot dust that is a glowing ember looking thing that looks like the end of a cigarette. You maybe have about 90 seconds or 2 minutes to work with that little bit of heat source. What you need then from that heat source, you need some place to put that little ember into the bird's nest. That bird's nest then has a bunch of tinder in it with multiple layers of fineness. So really fine at the top to fine to medium to coarse, and I'll show you what those are. To blowing the tinder bundle in the flame. And then what you're not going to see, what I don't have, is then I don't have my fire lay set up. I'm going to let you do that on your own at home. To then putting that tinder bundle into a fire lay to create the fire for yourself. Do you hear that? Huh. Okay, so the juniper bark we collected, I kind of tend to go overboard. I'm not really that conservative with tinder bundles. Juniper bark is usually pretty prolific out here. I'm going to show you my method I like to make, how I like to make it, especially if I have the resources available, and then I'm going to let you play around with your own region and what you have available to you wherever you may be. First thing I like to do is I like to look to see a nice big flat piece of bark, which is nice. Here's another flat piece of bark. I'm not going to use that one. That one's nice and shreddy. So I think I'm going to take this one right here. I'm going to use this section right in here. So what I'm going to do, I need to bend this. So I'm just going to kind of take it. I'm going to work with it a little bit. I'm going to bend it. Get it a little bit flexible. So what I like to do, I like to create kind of a bird's nest. I bring it around. All right. I make an X. I have a shorter tail. Here's my really long tail. I don't need all that. But I bring my long tail and I put it inside the bottom of my bird's nest. I create the floor to my bird's nest in here, like this. Because I don't need this, I'll typically rip it off, and I can use this for a later date. I have a little bit of a handle. There's the beginning of my bird's nest. I have the shell. I'll put this down. Now, this is where I fill it in with coarse, medium, and then fine. What I do for that is I'll take nice dry bark that tends to be really shreddy. I won't use my prime stuff that's nice and wide and thick to create the structure for it. I'll take stuff that is falling apart on me. And I'll rip little sections of it off. I come over here. I do it mostly over, and I just rough it up and I break it up. I'm making it finer. The finer I make it, the more chaos looking I make it, the greater the surface area. The greater the surface area, the more space there is, so to speak, for that heat to take and ignite into a flame. I would say that's coarse. I'll take that, and you can see left over in my hand, that's why I'm picking it up. I'm not dumping it. I'm putting the coarse in here. I have more medium and fine here, so then I will dump that in my tinder bundle. Pack it down just a little bit, not too much. I take more of the juniper bark. And guess what I do? I break it up into fine segments, creating more surface area. Now I'm going for medium. I'm trying to break it up a little bit more. This is more of a visual thing. It's more of a feel thing. The juniper bark feels really dry to me, which is nice. It's impossible to get full medium. You're going to have medium, coarse, and fine all mixed in here. There's still some definitely coarse in here, but it's more on the side of medium. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to pack that in there, take my hand. All right, I'm going to do one more of those, except now I'm going to try to do more on the finer side. Break it up again. I'm going to take that out of there. It's just not cooperating with me. I'm trying to work on fine, more like powder. I'm trying to get it to a consistency of what might be coming out of my hand drill. All right. All right, not quite yet. I'm going to take this. Now I'm going to try to do strictly nothing but fine. Just creating a whole bunch of dust. And dump that dust in there. Notice I'm not adding this fiber to it. I'm only adding what falls on my hand. And you can see the difference on how powdery it is. So that's what I call fine. You can still obviously see the structure and the fibers to it, but it's closer to a powder than it is the coarse. There we go. So there's my tinder bundle. Next thing, you're going to see that ignite into flame when we put together hand drill technique, hot dust into tinder bundle into flame.